Yes, we're coming to you from Fresh Life, and we're having an interview with the owner of Fresh Life. And the first question would be, what are the differences between the services provided here and the services offered by other chartered herbalists?
Services provided here, a lot of the service takes place in the aisle of the store, and you do not get as in-depth. Although we have a registered nurse on staff, we do not have a certified herbalist. What we have is people with lots of experience, including myself, 31 years of studying herbal medicine, but we have no letters after our name, and so we are very careful not to prescribe as the case would be, and even more careful not to diagnose. So if someone comes to us with a condition that they have a confirmed diagnosis, they know what they're dealing with, we offer recommendations, but we're very careful not to cross that line. And if they would like to sit down and have an in-depth conversation, then we offer one-on-one hour-long consultations, and we do have a consultation room that we provide that service.
Do you consult an herbalist for product suggestions?
Yes, we do. Actually, we not only consult on individual clients, but we have training sessions with certified herbalists. Mitch Coven, who runs an herbal clinic in Albuquerque, New Mexico, is our favorite trainer, and Mitch is, I'll move down here and shoot these for you. Mitch's expertise is in herbal extracts, and we actually buy these formulas from Mitch, even though they have our label on them. They say Fresh Life. He prepared them, and his quality and efficacy is really outstanding. He's one of the leading herbalists in the United States today on the American Herbal Products Council, and really trustworthy products. I think that's one of the biggest problems with herbal medicine in the United States today is that questionable regulation.
Yes, we had a big discussion on regulations and what's necessary to be able to put something on.
Right.
On
so there's
shelves.
Exactly. So there's these are the herbs from A to Z. So from literally from alfalfa, they're going on through all the way to probably yohimbe. I shouldn't say A to Z, A to Y. And so this is the section.
And what products are most in demand? And who are the customers?
Well, the products that are most in demand, at least in this store, and I think we're pretty typical of the nation, are products that are supportive of the aging process. It seems to be the elderly that are most aware of the herbs. They've used them all their lives. Their grandmothers were giving them herbal tea, and so if folks are now in their 70s and 80s, and we're talking about what the medicine that they used as a child, that's 3 generations ago. And then we're talking about their grandmothers who taught them about the herbs. That's another couple generations away. So we find a lot of older folks coming in here looking for herbs for many of the challenges of aging.
And you said they have a knowledge from history and friends and family?
Oftentimes they do, and certainly there's a lot of new information out there. The other big category of people, and these are the ones that we talk out of buying something as much as we talk in, would encourage them to try an herbal medicine, is people that are already on a prescription drug for a particular problem, and they are looking to either get off of it and use an herbal medicine in place of it, or to add an herb. And we are very, very cautious when we talk to those folks. Usually recommend you don't just make a swap. And there is a couple of real common misconceptions about herbs, and one is just because it's natural it must be safe. Not true. And the other is that you can double dose using herbs and be okay. For example, if you're already on an MAO inhibitor or an SSRI inhibitor for depression, why not add St. John's wort and see if we can get even happier? Well, bad idea. Yeah, so we do a lot of that kind of counseling.
What do you see as the future for herbal products?
Well, it's hard to say what role the FDA is going to play. I would like to see the quality of herbal medicines more closely regulated, but the ability to educate about the efficacy of herbs freed up. In other words, let me give you just one example. Here I have Have shelves filled with many different kinds of herbs, but you see no literature about these herbs on this shelf. So unless you talk to one of us, you can't walk in this store and know, for example, what should you use bilberry for. So according to the law, I'm allowed to give you information on bilberry, but I have to keep it in a file cabinet, locked away from the customer, 30 feet away from the herb.
No.
So
that's according to law?
That's according to law. Right. So I would like to see information be more accessible. I'm also very, very limited by what I can say. I would like to see a loosening of that regulation, that a free conversation can be had, but I would like to see tighter regulations on the quality of what's actually in that bottle. Well, there's actually a number of ways to get herbs in you, and one of the ways that is actually considered medicine would be in the form of a homeopathic dilution. This is the homeopathic section here, and homeopathic medicine is not strictly herbal medicine, but herbs can be used as one of the main ingredients. Flower essences down here in these spray bottles are considered herbal medicine, and flower essences work on the emotional level, and so you see the names of these products as grace and grief relief and self-healer, mindful, post-trauma stabilizer. So an interesting form of herb where you take a flower and create an essence from it, and its effect is on the psyche more than on the body. The most common form of herbal medicine is in capsules, and here you have a variety of herb medicine capsules from A to Z. People gravitate to this because it's easy to swallow a pill. They don't have to taste anything.
Seems more like medicine.
It does. It absolutely seems more like medicine, and you can get a standardized extract in capsule form. But the best way to take herbs, hands down, by far, is going to be a liquid extract. And Mitch Coven, who runs the clinic out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, has done some really interesting research on the shelf life of herbs in this form. And what Mitch has discovered, because he has been a practicing clinical herbalist for 18 years, and so he has kept herbs that he made when he was first getting started. So he now has herbal extracts that are 18 years old, and he can run those through HPLC, high performance liquid chromatography testing, and see that there is no loss in any of the medicinal components in those herbs, even though the product is 18 years old.
Wow.
Now you compare that to an herb tea, and we can walk over here to the other side of the store. And based on Mitch's research, we're actually eliminating many of the bulk herbs that we carried. We will still be carrying herbs in spinner racks, and this just looks like a bag of tea that you'd buy at the grocery store. However, you're not going to drink milk thistle because it tastes good. You're going to drink it because it has a medicinal impact, and that is true of all of the herbs on this rack. Some of them actually may taste good, such as peppermint leaf, but for the most part, these are the medicinal herbs. So
are those big sellers?
They are not as big a seller because people are afraid of how it will taste.
Oh, okay.
They are big sellers to people who are on a tighter budget, because this is the most economical way to buy the herbs, is in this store. And we have, you can see that we're closing out a lot of our inventory, because based on Mitch's research, we realized that what Mitch found was that herbs in this form really lose an awful lot of their potency after only 6 months. So that's not 6 months sitting in a jar on my shelf. That's 6 months from the time they were harvested. So they are harvested, they go to a warehouse, they're processed, they go to a distributor, I buy them, I put them in a jar, somebody buys them and takes them home. Well, it's very easy.
But you have to constantly restock.
Yeah, exactly. So we're phasing out a lot of the less popular ones. We're keeping the ones that are the most popular. So over here are some of the most popular medicinal herbs that we are keeping because they turn over so fast. So we have burdock, which is a blood cleanser, catnip, which I really think most of the people who are buying it are probably buying it for their cats, but it's a wonderful colic relief for babies. You can make a little catnip tea. It's very soothing to the stomach. Chamomile is an anxiolytic. It helps to relieve anxiety. It also helps with sleep. Dandelion leaf is a great liver tonic and blood purifier. Eleuthero is a form of ginseng that is an adaptogenic herb and gives you some energy. Lavender can be used for migraine headache. Licorice sticks people chew on if they are trying to quit smoking. They just put one of those in their mouth and keep it there. Mullein is great for sinus infections. Pardiarco is an herb that is really good for candida and fungus. So people make a very strong Pardiarco tea and soak their toes in it if they have nail fungus or their fingers. Peppermint leaf is very soothing to the digestive system. Red clover is a blood purifier. Slippery elm is great for bronchitis and respiratory challenges, and so we have that in two forms there, both the bark powder and the tea. So that's just a real quick litany of some of the primary uses of these herbs and what people are buying them for. And with teas, when you're using an herb in tea form, you should really steep it a long time, not just dip it in, but let it sit in the boiling water for 10 to 15 minutes with it covered. So you can do tea, you can do pills, you can do capsules and tablets, and you can do liquids, and you can do a flower essence. Those are the primary delivery forms.